Hello, and welcome to this review of Oxfordshire football over the weekend before Christmas, the 20th and 21st of December. Ahead of the usual very, very busy Christmas period, Oxford United festivities did not start too well for them. They lost 1-0 away at Charlton, and that result saw them slip into the relegation zone, third from bottom. So that is a pretty poor start for them to the festive season. Well, on Tuesday, following that loss, Oxford United parted company with their manager, Gary Rowett, and in a club statement, Chairman Grant Ferguson said, Gary joined during a challenging period and deserves immense credit for the hard work and leadership that saw us retain our championship status last season. However, following a disappointing run of results, we have had to take the difficult decision that is all in the best interest of the club. He goes on to say, the process to appoint a new head coach is already underway, and the club will provide an update in due course. In the interim, Craig Short will lead the first team preparations alongside Chris Hackett and Lewis Price. They've got a home game coming up against my hometown team, Southampton, on Boxing Day. It's another tough one since Southampton have been turning their results around. They've got a 1-1 draw at the weekend and look pretty impressive to me. So I'll have mixed emotions on Boxing Day because a 2-2 draw will be a good result for me, I think, at the Casam Stadium. So to help me try and find a little bit more festive cheer from last weekend's results, I'm joined by Patrick Locke and Darryl Woods. Patrick's a Tottenham fan. They lost at the weekend, didn't they, Patrick?
Yeah, lost to Liverpool. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not going to really say much about that, to be honest. Otherwise, you may get an hour of me ranting about various things. But I'll just say lost, yeah. Okay,
now to add insult to injury, there's a very, very happy gooner in the form of Darryl Woods, who's a cricket man, really. He's a cricket coach, okay? He's a great man over at Oxford Downs as well. Are you head of cricket at Oxford Downs, Darryl? Is that your title?
That is my title.
Whoa, okay. Big up. Do you get a T-shirt and a cap, do you?
No.
Okay. All right, but you're a happy gooner, aren't you?
We should start campaigning, shouldn't we?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, absolutely, Patrick. Happy gooner. I mean, they've got a few injuries at the moment, but they are still sort of getting a few results together, scrambling across the line, really, at the moment. But if there's only a season that they could win the Premier League, I think this is it. So fingers well and truly crossed in this household, that's for sure.
All right,
As a totally biased Tottenham fan as well, I'm going to say that Everton should have had a penalty, but yeah.
Okay.
You've got to have a bit of luck to win the Premier League, Patrick, I think.
Yeah, definitely have. All right, so
I can't disagree with that.
Patrick's a disappointed Spurs fan, but really he's, in terms of local football, he's an Oxford City man through and through. Reports on them on the home games anyway for the national non-league football paper. They've had a dodgy old start of the season, but they're starting to turn things around with Zach McEachran back from injury, back in midfield, and a guy up front called DJ Sturridge. Fantastic name for a striker, that one. So, and they got another draw which pulled them out of the relegation zone the weekend, didn't it, Patrick?
Indeed, yes. I don't know if Ross Jenkins has finally found the answer, but the change of shape when they played Darlington a couple of weeks ago, beat them 5-1. Seems to have worked a little bit. It sounded I didn't go, obviously, as it's pretty much going off the top of the country, it feels like sometimes.
Yeah, let's face it, though, you are getting a bit older now, so these long journeys, with the bladder and stuff this time of year, it's not good for you, is it, Patrick?
Well, yeah, that and probably get a sore back or something driving or something. It's quite a long way to go. Cold.
All right.
Last weekend before Christmas.
All right. Just because Spurs lost your ammonia so-and-so, but City were playing better, weren't they?
Oh, yes. And, I mean, the reports coming from the ground is that City were a bit unfortunate not to take all 3 points, really. Had a few good chances towards the end to take all 3 points, but couldn't quite get past the goalkeeper. Maybe a couple of good saves, maybe some better finishing needed, but it was a tough pitch by the sounds of it. A little bit boggy. It had a lot of rain up there, but City played well, got themselves ahead just after half time. Zach McEachran doing what he does best, dancing through and putting it on a plate for DJ Sturridge at the far post. Make it 4 goals in 2 games for DJ Sturridge. That's a good old turnaround, isn't it? But Spennymoore did equalise about 15 minutes before the end. So a shame for City not to get all 3 points. But not a bad point to get on the road against a team in the playoffs. But City still winless on the road, but getting closer, I think. So something to cheer about, at least towards the end of the year. And as you say, just got themselves out the relegation zone on goal difference for Christmas as well.
Okay, so we can hear from Ross Jenkins in our post-match interview with him.
I think if you was a sort of a neutral looking from the side, I think we were the better team. I thought first half our shape was really good. I thought we had really good control possession. We moved the ball really well and we caused problems. And then, second half we had to weather a little bit of a spell. I think it was about a 12 to 15 minute spell that they had. I think they changed a little bit of maybe the messaging or their focus, and we had to weather it a little bit, and we had to batten down the hatches and defend our box and be compact and defend. And I think in that moment there was a passage that we need to be better with their goal. I think it was a quick 1-2 round us, little slide down the side and then a shot across goal. So other than that, we've limited. Jamie hasn't really done much all day really, and it can be frustrating because he hasn't had much to do and then concede a goal like that. But they made it hard for us. We had to dig in, but second half we created loads of chances, counter-attacks. I think we had 4 or 5 good counter-attacks that we should do well with. We had a couple cleared off the line, one from the set piece, one back post with DJ. So we've been knocking on the door, and I think if we scored 2 or 3, no one's moaning, no one's saying that's sort of a strange one, but we created many chances today to score a few goals, but we didn't. And you're right, to come away to a team who are doing really well and to take a point is better than taking no points. So I thought we finished really strong, and I think the emotion now is that we should have taken 3 points, but on reflection, we've got to appreciate it's a long journey. It's a difficult, bit of a soggy pitch. The boys worked hard, dug in against a good team. Sometimes a point away on the road is really good, so we take it.
A few months ago, they had a little bit of a spell in the second half. We might have conceded a few more, but we stayed dogged, and it shows how far we're coming this season. That the fact we are disappointed that we've not won that, rather than we probably lost that game a few weeks ago. Yeah,
probably. We've done a lot of work in the week, some basic work, but it's been really good structure and hard work. The boys have worked really hard. But I think for the goal, for memory, there was maybe a 10 to 12 second delay that we were jogging. And I think when you do that, you open yourselves up. So we've got to really look at that, because other than that, I don't think Jamie's really had to do much. Came out with a few crosses, punched one, maybe one save, but other than that, he's been really quiet. So mixed emotions, but the fans have been brilliant. They're here again watching around Christmas, always money out of their pockets to come and watch us, and we really appreciate that. So hopefully we put on a good performance for them. The boys need to be upbeat and good spirits. We get back on the bus now in good spirits, because taking a point from Spennymoore is a good point. So, I'm pleased.
Final one from me. You're probably not looking that far ahead, but next one, Boxing Day at home against Merthyr, who are going real good guns in the league. It's going to be a tough one, but a great occasion, as Boxing Day games always are. And it's probably going to be one where, you look at the game against Darlington and today, and we're going to be well up for it.
100%. I thought Darlington were superb. I thought today we were superb for large periods. As I said, there was probably a 10, 12, 15-minute spell in there that we have to weather it a little bit. And, you've got to do that sometimes. You can't just dominate 90 minutes. And that's probably the best bit of spell we've weathered for a long time. So it's really important we praise that. But, we've got a game coming up. We've got to address it. Make sure the boys prepare properly. I know Christmas period is a festive period and everyone wants to eat what they want and drink what they want, but we can't do that. So we've got a job to do. And, we'll work hard again. We'll pick it apart. Make sure we do the basics well and stick together. And what I was really happy with is the bench contributed today. Whether you got on or didn't get on, the boys who weren't in the squad, everyone was there rallying around each other, and that's what we need. So we need to stick together.
Okay, thanks to Andy Gates chatting to Ross Jenkins after that very, very valuable point there. Meanwhile, Banbury United's game was called off. We did see pictures on Twitter of the flooded ground that they were about to try and play on. They must have felt a bit like home, because normally we see scenes like that at Banbury. This was, I think, at Stourbridge, wasn't it, I think, away, and it looks like the river had come right through the ground, Patrick.
We talk about it, sadly, at least once, if not twice a year, don't we, about the ground being completely submerged. And we did have quite a lot of rain, didn't we, on, was it Wednesday, Thursday, probably?
Yeah,
I think it was Thursday. Yeah, unfortunately, that rain obviously didn't cope too well with the river, and it ended up all over the pitch. I think they tried their best to pump it all off the pitch, but sadly, it sounds like that's always an issue at Banbury, isn't it?
Is indeed. And meanwhile, Darryl, we had Daz King on from Didcot Town on last week. We played that out on Cherwell and Oxfordshire Unleashed. Infectious character, because his heart and soul into Didcot Town. There's no interview, post-match interview, this time round, because Didcot were on the end of a 4-2 loss. A result like that, you can imagine that Daz King would not have been too happy about that, would he, Darryl?
No, he probably wouldn't have. They probably decided between them, him and Jamie Heapy, that they shouldn't actually have a discussion about the game. Probably went a little bit against them weekend. But it's great to see people like Daz doing the work that they do at Didcot and other people at other grounds and other clubs around Oxfordshire, because those are the people that make the clubs run and tick. And, they would be, short without those sort of people. It's amazing what those volunteers can do and make such a difference at a club. And Didcot, is a good club and has been for some time. So, all the volunteers across Oxfordshire for our local clubs deserve a round of applause, especially around Christmas time, and say, fair play, keep doing it. You're doing a great job for your clubs.
Indeed, thank you. So I was following the Didcot game on Twitter, and they went in 2-1 up at half-time. So I thought, this sounds quite good. But then, unfortunately, they lost 4-2. Patrick, tell us about that game.
Yeah, I should say they did go 1-0 down. Adam Leroy's, he seems to mention him most weeks, don't we, about him scoring. He's a big asset for them at the back to come up and score from corners mainly. I know Owen James scored, so I should say they led 2-1 at half-time. But Morven, they had a good second half and scored 3 goals themselves to win that 4-2. A bit more misery on Jamie Heapy's men, who have had a bit of a topsy-turvy season. They're one place above the relegation zone at the moment, but 4 points clear at the moment. So, looking to get some more points. And, there was a few comments at Jamie Heapy that appeared on Didcot's Twitter not a bit after the game. As you say, there wasn't a video interview, as Daz King said, didn't he, when he was in with us, that if there's a particularly bad game, they decide it's probably best not to do it. But, after it calmed down, Jamie Heapy said... I thought we were sort of get out the blocks, and Morven created a few opportunities, which he didn't take. We grew into the first half and scored 2 really good goals at perfect times. Unfortunately, we couldn't match our first half performance in the second half. Credit to Morven, they're a good side and they were the better team in the second half. There were positives to take, but we're disappointed as we felt that we had a good opportunity going in at half-time to come away with something here. We move on now and look forward to our big clash with Supermarine next Saturday. So, disappointment there. Could have gone either way by the sounds of it at half-time, but it wasn't to be for Didcot.
OK, but Darryl, I mean, it makes a refreshing change for a manager at that level to come out with a very honest opinion about his side. I mean, so often you hear Premiership guys who are paid an absolute fortune talk drivel. Sometimes you don't recognise the game they were watching is not the one that you were watching.
Absolutely, a different game, isn't it? But I was taken by what Patrick was saying there, that Jamie's statement, because it is an honest appraisal, isn't it? And it's what you'd like to see more of, to be honest, across. And that's what Daz King mentioned, that he'd take non-league football over Premier League football any day of the week because it's a little bit more entertaining, and you got honest review at the end of it.
Absolutely, yes.
Just to touch on that quickly before we move on, Colin, I always think that's always a great thing about the lower in the pyramid you get, because probably less media training isn't there for managers and players, so they probably come out and say far more what they want rather than what the club wants them to say. So the higher up the pyramid you get, the more kind of diplomatic answers you get, isn't it? So I always used to find that with Mark Jones at Oxford City, that you used to get very, very honest interviews. So it is great, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, they've got more backroom staff higher in the leagues, haven't they, to tell them what they should or should not say.
Indeed, yeah.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, Tame United have a few flooded games, unusually so. I mean, if you ever go to Tame United, there's one stand that faces west. So if you're unfortunate, you're sitting opposite a west-facing gale and it's raining, you're going to get wet, right? But they went away to Marlow and came back with all 3 points of the weekend, Patrick.
Yeah, they're doing well at the moment. They went 2-0 up at half-time. Lance Williams and Harry Alexander scored the goals inside the first hour. The second half penalty did pull it back to 2-1, but Tame held on for a win. They're 9th place now in the league, just 7 points off the playoff spots. I mean, it's amazing, really, considering that they were bottom of the league on 0 points after 4 or 5 games in the division. So it's been a really, really good turnaround at Tame, and really knocking on the door again. And who knows, a good second half of the season may see them pushing for a playoff spot again.
All right, but we know how tough these leagues can be because both Kidlington and North Leigh got relegated last season. How do they do the weekend, Patrick?
Yeah, well, Kidlington didn't have a game. Their game was called off. So, yeah, that was a shame. But North Leigh did win, and much needed win for them. They won 2-0 at home to Hollyport. Jacob Sapwell and Bucknamy Maxwell scored the goals, which saw them move up a place in the league on goal difference in the Combined Counties North. So, yeah, really good win for them there and moves them 5 points clear of the relegation zone now. So that's a really good win for them there. Obviously, we're following Ardley United a lot in the Combined Counties at the moment. And the last few weeks, they've not had a game, have they? And happened again this week. So another weekend where Ardley are falling another game behind Broadfields United in second. However, Ardley will be very thankful to one of their Oxfordshire rivals in Milton United, who earned a draw against Broadfields United this weekend. Ollie Nadin scored the goal for Milton. So good point for them at top of the table. And yeah, as I say, it helps Ardley a lot as they're now 2 points behind Broadfields United with 5 games in hand. So a lot of football to get that overturned again. So yeah, I mean, hopefully we'll be talking about Ardley United in action again soon. Maybe this week, maybe coming up this coming weekend on the 27th.
Well, it hasn't been raining much, has it, recently? So it's going to get colder.
Well,
so it could be frozen
colder,
pitches
but
next.
it's going to be settled. I think it's not going to be any rain coming up in the next few days. So fingers crossed. But who knows if it's going to get cold? It might be frozen off instead. But we'll keep everything crossed for Ardley United to actually play some football. So yeah.
All right, okay, so what about the rest of our teams? Especially, can you make our Gooner friend even happier? Tell us about a Carterton result, but what else was happening in the lower leagues?
Well, yeah, we can see in a minute, I guess, can't we? If his hometown team did anything good this weekend. So just before moving on to anything else, just one other team in the Combined Counties, which was Abingdon United. But their game was called off as well, so no football for them. So just a few games in that division this week. End of the year. That's probably what I'm thinking about. Yep. Easington Sports in the United Counties Premier South. They had a home match against Manchester Rovers, and that ended up with a 2-2 stalemate. Max Leonard and Luke Swan scored for the Sports, and we were talking on the live show on Thursday that there was 2 teams right next to each other in the table. So I guess probably not a surprise that they couldn't be separated, as they've got a similar form. So Hellenic Division 1 and Wantage Town always tend to be the first team we round up, and we will again because they had another thumping win. It was 7-0 against Tame United Reserves. They just cannot stop scoring at the moment. Callum Crook, he scored a hat-trick, seemed to say that most weeks. Matthew Cheetham scored 2 and Josh Davies with the other to get that big win. Wantage Town now just a point behind Bewdley Town at the top of the table. They scored 66 goals in their 19 games, so as I say, they just know where the back of the net is at the moment. So the reason that they're now only a point behind Bewdley Town at the top of the league, Darryl's hometown club did them a favour. A couple of 2-2 draw. So yeah, Darryl, always good to see Carterton getting a good result, isn't it?
Yeah, that's encouraging actually against a side at the top, because they're sort of languishing just above the relegation zone, aren't they, at the moment? So it's good to get a result like that, and that would ooze confidence, I would think, going into 2026. So yeah, good result for the hometown.
Yeah, and they've had a couple of wins in recent weeks as well. So it's looking good, and yeah, hopefully work their way at the table and certainly stay up and maybe push for promotion next year or something, I guess. But still need to get them on the show though, don't we?
We do.
We definitely need to get them on the show, yeah, absolutely.
I think so. Ardley and Wantage got to be on the show as well at some point too. We're just going to try and do a trawl of these managers. So, okay, what else is going on? Was there any other results that we need to mention?
Yeah, just one more result this week, as there was no Sunday action. Clanfield, they visited Cheltenham Saracens. I saw Kenzie Taylor, who's famous obviously for being one of the goals of the season a couple of years ago for Oxfordshire Unleashed for Oxford City Youth, smashing volley from the edge of the box. I think we can all remember that. He scored for Clanfield in a 1-1 draw there, so another good point for Clanfield, who are also kind of towards the bottom of the division. So that's pretty much all that happened last weekend, Colin.
Okay, so I'll just do a quick recap on the league positions ahead of the very, very busy Boxing Day and Saturday the 27th of December fixtures. Oxford City, National League North, they're one above the relegation zone on goal difference. Banbury United, they sit 13th. Okay, they've got a game in hand around other teams around them, though, so let's hope they get a few games on next. Division 1 Central, Tame United are up to 9th. Didcot Town are just above the relegation zone, so again, Jamie Heapy needs to put a few more points on the board. Right, next up we'll have a review of our festive fixtures for Boxing Day and the 27th of December.
Yes, and bit of a rarity. We'll start with Oxford City because they're kicking off Boxing Day. 1 o'clock kickoff at Court Place Farm with the visit of High Flyers Merthyr Town. Merthyr have been winning for fun in recent weeks, so it'll be a tough test for Ross Jenkins' men. But as mentioned earlier, they've picked up 4 points in their last 2 games, so City will be going in with a bit of confidence to there. Maybe a bit of a tall order to do a double header, but 3 o'clock kick off at the Kassam Stadium for the Colin Ryde derby, as we called it on Thursday night. Oxford United hosting Southampton at the Kassam Stadium. Who do you want to win, Colin?
I don't want either side to lose, really, so I'll sit on the fence. I don't think Oxford United is scoring many goals, so I think they may well probably go for a bit defensive. So a 1-1 draw, I think, so, which is what Southampton got the weekend. Be happy with that. But then I'll probably be
season around Southampton, haven't they?
They have, I know. Yeah, it's interesting, I think, so how they've done that with the youth team managers stepped up to the plate. So we'll see. Yeah, they were very good at the weekend. Should have probably won the game. I think they have they have lots of shots on target, but don't put it in the back of the net. But got some good players, so we'll see. And United are struggling at the moment, seeing them this season so far, and they've lost Cameron Brannigan out of midfield. A bit like Oxford City, lose Zach McEachran out of midfield, and you can't really replace a player like that here. Mixed emotions, Patrick. So what else is coming up on Boxing Day and Saturday 27th? Because there are 2 games, aren't they, on Boxing Day, but quite a few on Saturday.
Bit of a rarity, isn't it? There seems to be very little football on Boxing Day, across the divisions, because it's there's famously no Premier League action on Boxing Day this year, is there? Which has obviously always been a fairly traditional thing. But those are our only 2 games on Boxing Day. The rest of our divisions are playing on Saturday the 27th. Banbury United are on the road to Stourbridge in Southern League Premier Central. As we mentioned earlier through Jamie Heapy's comments, Didcot Town, they host Swindon Supermarine in Division 1 South. Tame United are also at home. They host Leverstock Green in Division 1 Central. And we'll have a look at the Step 5 and 6 fixtures as well, because there's a few Oxfordshire derbies in there which people may be interested in going to. Abingdon United host Kidlington at the North Court, which is a 3 p.m. kickoff on Saturday. Wallingford and Crowmarsh welcome title chargers Ardley United. Well, we hope so, because Ardley have had a few games called off in recent weeks. Northley looking to back up their win from last weekend on the road to British Airways. Milton United, they travel to Wokingham Town in the same division. In United Counties, Premier South, Easington Sports, they are on the road. They travel to Newport Pagnell Town. And finally, the Hellenic Division 1, another Oxfordshire derby with Clanfield travelling to free-scoring Wantage Town, as we heard. So maybe a tough afternoon for Clanfield there. Casterton at home, Darryl. They host Cheltenham Saracens. And finally, Tame United reserves, they travel to Woodford United. That's what's coming up over the festive weekend.
Thank you very much. So, Darryl, you don't want to watch the 4th test here. I know you're a cricket man, so you probably will be desperate to get away from the family. Why don't you go and watch Casterton on Saturday 27th? Okay, so tell the family it's a piece of journalistic investigation that you've been commissioned to undertake for a national newspaper. I don't know, something like that, okay, to get away from the family. What do you think, mate?
Not sure they'll believe me, Colin. Journalistic, like they'll go, yeah, you've just made that word up.
All right. So we just finish off, I think, by just having a mention of the cricket. I've been very lucky to have been around you guys, okay, so commentating, well, not commentating on cricket as such, but trying to make up the numbers sometimes and listen to your expertise. Pretty woeful stuff, isn't it, really? I don't think the management team in the England dressing room will change with it, so probably we're going to get to the 4th and 5th test. I did say it was going to be 3-2 to Australia, so I'm right in one sense. They retained the Ashes. And they got close in the 3rd test, didn't they? but I can't really see this team being able to pull a win against this Australian side, which just seem to have the numbers on them. So they just seem to be able to play Test cricket, and we don't. Is that fair summary, Darryl?
Yeah, I think so. I think at the moment their bowlers are putting the ball in regular areas on the pitch, and they're being very patient, where our batters and our bowlers seem to go to plan B far too early. And that's one of the reasons we're in the situation we're in. I think I think just a little bit of patience through when they're looking to hit a particular area. And the bowler gets bored. If you get the bowler bored and they try and then bowl wonder balls at you, that's when you've won that little piece of or part of the game. So a little bit more of that would be good. I still think they're a good enough side to eke out a result, a win out there, that's for sure. But they're playing well under par at the moment, and it's disappointing, and because there are some exciting cricketers in that side for sure.
Okay, so Patrick, I mean, if your weekend of the festivities ends with Tottenham losing and the Tests being an absolute disaster yet again, the only hope you've got probably is that Oxford City start to carry on their good form and give you something to cheer about.
Yeah, I kind of give up on Tottenham Hotspur at the moment, really. So, hopefully Oxford City's form can continue. Well, as you say, Zach McEachran's back now, so maybe the upturn in form is something to do with having a midfield maestro again. So, yeah, a few tough games coming up, but a big week coming up for Ross Jenkins' men, especially being out the drop zone. So try and put a bit of distance between them and that now. Okay,
thank you very much indeed. So that's it for this review of last weekend's football in Oxfordshire. I'm Colin Ryde, and thank you very much indeed to Darryl Woods and Patrick Law for keeping me company on this review of last weekend's Oxfordshire football. Well, that's it for this week's Ox Sports Unleashed podcast review of Oxfordshire's football. If you'd like your club to feature on this podcast or on our YouTube show that live streams every Thursday at 8 o'clock, then drop us a line at oxsportsunleashed@gmail.com. That's oxsportsunleashed, all one word, @gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks so much for listening, and bye for now.